Hey, family. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever side of the diaspora that you are on. Welcome to the Mental House. I am your host, Khadijah. And I want to thank you for being out there. And, today I wanted to talk about something that's, you know, really is near and dear to my heart. And it's also something that I've been discussing with other people, I should say like-minded folks who are willing or who are in recovery to a degree of that they're willing to talk about some of the things and share some of the experiences that they have. A lot of times people can be in a certain kind of recovery, whether it's a drug recovery, alcoholic recovery, shopping recovery, it doesn't really matter, just recovery. Um, One of the main things that for me that I'm dealing with on my road is attaching to beliefs. Hmm. You know, you have to stop at some point relying so much on the mind and rely on the heart. Okay? You have to feel more and think less. I know that sounds crazy to some degree, but in order to be a healthy human being, you know, you have to understand that you are not your thoughts. Okay, and in other words, what is the thinker thinking? Who is the thinker? You know, um, those are the things that I've been challenging myself with. And I don't want to challenge anybody's, religious constructs or anything like that. I just do know that I don't feel that you can separate yourself from your spirit. I feel that when I think the Bible, uh, Genesis, what is it, 12, 13, or 14, I'm not particularly sure, but it goes into the scripture how God breathed into man his breath, and he became a living soul. So if that's the case, then I am the manifestation of God in the flesh, and there is no separation between the two of us. There is no separation. So once I have become one with that thought, that then I try to live my life with integrity and honor as I am a representation of a higher being. I mean, God is also negative as well. Yin and yang in the universe, the two forces that operate. Some people call it the devil, but it's a necessary entity. Yin and yang. You have a battery. You have positive and negative. That's what fires up the battery. So both of these entities are necessary. Both of these entities are um, uh, uh, a very necessary thing to have in your life. Because if you don't, then you won't have certain boundaries. Okay, but what you can't do is you can't not attach to the mental chatter. I'm sorry, somebody came to the door. I'm trying to take off where I left off at. I had a visitor, and I certainly was not expecting that. But life goes on. But listen, I just want to say this because I really be having strong opinions, especially when it comes to my clan. That was my grandbaby, by the way. I should have let you guys see her, but oh well. Anyway, I want y'all to think about attaching yourself to beliefs, you know, and stop relying so much on the mind because that is really hurting us a lot. I truly believe that we can fix the ills of the world if we could start one family at a time. I think most of our families are so dysfunctional. I mean, the emotional damage that we do to children, and then these children grow up to be adults, wounded adults actually, and then they go out and they cohabitate and they draw or magnetize other wounded adults. Thus, you have a wounded family and then a wounded community. And the community is an extension of the city. City is an extension of the state. And the state is indicative of the country, and so forth, so forth. So, I really do believe that religion, it teaches us to think outside of ourselves. In Western culture, we look for God, Jesus, whatever, hanging on a cross, and uh, which I never really could understand it. That was much more fearful and terrifying than anything. Just the sight of the bloody Jesus hanging on the cross, being brainwashed into knowing that, he's gonna come back and get me. I was just actually terrified of Jesus. I mean, I used to dream that he was gonna come and get me. I would be afraid to go get the clothes out of the laundry. I mean, and then to think that he died for me, I was like, why? Why would you die for me? I ain't asked you to do that. And it was so confusing. And the baby's coming to birth with already in sin. What the fuck? What could possibly a baby do that would make him sinful already? Just the dogma. So that's why I'm not a real religious person. However, I don't knock anybody's religion, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here because I really do want us to re-examine how we attach to beliefs. I mean, question everything. Question your thoughts. Where did those thoughts come from? Who gave them to you? Are they your authentic thoughts, or are they thoughts that came from your mother? And then she probably got it from her mother, and she might have got it from her mama, and her mama might have been a slave. So the concept is skewed. Is that what you authentically feel in your heart? And I think that should be the concentration of all of us, to go back and genuinely figure out what we actually feel in our own hearts. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And we'll talk. Bye-bye.